Welcome to this presentation on K-nearest neighbors or KNN, one of the most intuitive and powerful classification algorithms in machine learning. KNN embodies a simple but profound idea. Similar things are likely to belong to the same category. Think of it in everyday terms. If you want to predict whether someone will enjoy a movie, you might look at what people with similar tastes thought of it. That's essentially what KNN does. Today we'll use a gym membership dataset to demonstrate KNN. Given a new member's monthly spending and weekly workout hours, can we predict whether they should be classified as a premium or basic member, or whether they will sign up for premium membership if we were to offer that? We'll cover data preparation, feature normalization, finding nearest neighbors, choosing the optimal K value, and making predictions on new data. Let's start with importing our essential libraries. Notice we import two classes from sklearn neighbors. Nearest neighbors for finding the closest points, and KNeighbors classifier for making predictions. So we import that, and then we also load our gym membership dataset. That's gymmembership.csv, and then we load it in this data frame. Now, once that is done, we add a number column there for labeling points in our visualization, so that every gym member has a certain number, 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on and so forth. Then we split the data into training and validation set, 60% for training and 40% for testing or validation. The random state ensures reproducible results. Now we define the new member to classify. So here's our line for that. Our classification challenges a new member who spends $60 monthly and works out 20 hours per week. Should they be classified as premium or basic? Now KNN will help us decide based on similar existing members. We use this set of code for visualization. It's a scatter plot. So we are going to plot all these different members and try to see where this member will fall in that scatter plot. The blue diamonds will represent basic members, and the filled markers are training data. Hollow markers are validation data, and then orange circles will represent premium members. Our new member that we have here, that is what we are focusing on, will be a black star that we want to position in that scatter plot. Now let's first run this and we will see how this plot looks like. So it's running. So once it has run, we get to see the premium members, that are the orange circles. The basic members, those are the blue diamonds. And then we have this star, which is our new member. The filled markers are training data, and the hollow markers are validation data. Right? So we can see that this star is closer to some of the members and pretty far from some other members. So we'll have to use that information in this particular case. Now, before we can use KNN, we must normalize our features. This is absolutely critical for distance-based algorithm. KNN works by calculating distances between points. Now, if monthly spending ranges from $40 to $110, while weekly workout hours ranges from 5 to 25 hours, spending would dominate the distance calculation simply because its numbers are larger, not because it's more important. Now, normalization puts all features on the same scale, giving them equal opportunity to influence the results. So that's what we will be doing here, and it's done in this particular line where we are calling standard scalar, which transforms each feature to have 0 mean and 1 standard deviation. So unit variance or 1 standard deviation. The formula is take the value subtract it with the mean of that column and divide it by the standard deviation of that column. So x minus mean divided by standard deviation will give us for each of them a z value. Now crucially, we fit the scalar on training data only. That's important that we see here. This learns the mean and standard deviation from training. We then apply the same transformation to validation and new data later on. This prevents data leakage. Our model never sees validation data during training. So that's what we do here, and then we transform the full data set and create normalized versions of training, validation, and the new member, all of them. Notice the column names change to Z monthly spending and Z weekly workout hours, indicating Z-score normalized values. Now, after normalization, both features will have similar ranges centered around 0. A value of +1 means 1 standard deviation above the mean, -1 means 1 standard deviation below the mean. Right, so we're going to run this now. Basically, what we now running here is this last step, which is the nearest neighbor calculation. This nearest neighbor class helps us find the k closest training points to any new observation. Here we set n neighbors as 3, meaning we want the 3 most similar members to our new member that we are looking at here. So we fit our normalized trainings data using only the first two columns, which are our normalized features, and then k neighbors returns two arrays, distances to the nearest neighbors and their indices in the training set. Right, so that's what we are getting here in terms of the distances and the indices. Now, when we examine this, so we can index into train norm. So this is the last step. In indices is a list, and what we're doing here is by indexing into train norm with the return indices, we can see exactly which members are most similar to our new member. The output shows their normalized spending, normalized workout hours, membership type, and ID number. Right, so this is their normalized spending, normalized workout hours, membership type, and their ID number. If 2 of the 3 neighbors are premium and 1 is basic, we would classify the new member as premium by majority vote. Now this is the essence of KNN classification. In this case, because 2 premium, 1 basic, we would classify our new member as a premium member. So that's what we do here. Now the choice of K, the number of neighbors, significantly affects model performance. Too small a k makes the model sensitive to noise, and too large a k may include members that aren't really similar. So we can do some systematic test with different values of k and measure accuracy on our validation set. So that's what we will do next. So we have here, we'll set up our feature matrices and target variables. Right, so we are going to set that up first. The feature are monthly spending and weekly workout hours, and the target is the membership for both training and validation set. Then we loop through k values from 1 to 14. So this is like choosing different k, in this case 1 to 15 different values, and for each value, so it's basically going through each value. For each k, we train a k neighbors classifier, and that's that here, and calculate accuracy on the validation set. Right, so that's going to tell us what the accuracy is. The results are stored in a list of dictionary, and then which we then convert into a data frame for easy viewing. So that's the results are first in a data dictionary, and then we convert that into a data frame so that we can then view it. Right, so that's the step. Looking at the results table, we can identify which k value gives the highest validation accuracy, and we run this and then we can take a look at this. So here is going from 1 to 14. So actually when you put 1 to 15, it doesn't take the last values, it goes from 1 to 14. So these are the accuracies that we have here. Now at very small values like k equals 1, it can be unstable, while very large values may not perform as well either, right? So that's what we see here. In this case, we see k equals 2 has a high accuracy. So let's use that as our chosen value for now. Normally, a common practice is to use odd values of k to avoid ties in binary classification. However, scikit-learn handles ties by choosing the class that appears first in the training data among the tied classes. Right, so we will use 2, and then we'll also take a look at subsequently maybe a 7, which is also having very high value, and it's an odd number here, odd value of k, to validate whether the results look similar. Do we classify our new member similarly had we chosen k equals 2 and k equals 7? Right, so that's what this is doing, this particular code that we see here. So what we're doing is we have selected k equals 2 and neighbors is equal to 2, and we are running the k nearest neighbor. We retrain on the full data set. Now this gives our model access to all available information before making predictions on truly new neighbors. So this step, we create feature and target arrays from the full normalized data set. Then we fit that k nearest neighbor classifier, k neighbors classifier on that with n neighbors equal to. Distance, this distance comma indices, the predict method that we are using basically returns for us the predict method that we see here. It returns the classification, which is either premium or basic, and we also retrieve the distances and to the nearest neighbors and their indices, which were the nearest neighbors and what were the distances of this new member from those members that we already have in the data set. So we're going to run this first. We can see what the prediction is. It's going to be a premium member. So that's and the two indices are these two, 3 and 8, right? So this is what we can take a look at over here. These are their monthly spending, sort of Z values. So for our new member with $60 monthly spending and 20 weekly workout hours, the model examines the two most similar existing members. Now we take a look at both of these and see whether they are premium. If both are premium, then we would classify them as premium. Now we also want to test it with an odd number of neighbors so that we can capture the tie. If in case that is happening, we can take care of that. So we run it again, but this time we use the nearest neighbor equals 7 and run this. So this time we would have the prediction still as premium. We see that those two indices are still at the top, but we also have a few more. And essentially there will be a vote in terms of how many of these members were premium and how many were basic. And a majority vote is what we assign to our new member. In this case, it's premium again. So that's what k nearest neighbor does. So with that, I conclude this presentation, and I hope that you found this to be helpful.